Welcome to the most must-watch WSUW YouTube channel in history. Welcome to First Round KO.
Enjoy the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
welcome to Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw edition. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Howard Dingers, and welcome to 3 Count Review, the Monday Night Raw edition, presented by First Round KO. Today, I am joined in studio by Little Tyler.
That's right.
Big Tyler.
Howdy.
And Cal.
Hello.
Hello. So, we have an interesting, better than last week
Just
episode.
by a little.
Just
Not
a little
much,
bit.
not
And
much.
that's a low bar.
Yeah.
Episode of Monday Night Raw. Yeah, like I said, last week was a low bar to go by, but it's still, you know, when you hit rock bottom, it's pretty easy to kind of stumble over that line. So that's what I'm gonna chalk this up to. So we talked about this a little beforehand. We found out over the weekend that Vince McMahon is to blame for the episode of last week. He decided he got a little overzealous. He decided to take full control of the episode of Raw last week.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So
Mistake.
yeah.
Right there.
So that explains the hours of heel heat and Baron Corbin being on for an hour of it, and the Dean Ambrose shots.
It's so weird. Vince has a weird mind if you really
he
think
does.
about it. Like,
Oh.
he's a creative genius, but sometimes he's weird.
And the Drake Maverick thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. But
I watched top 10 what culture top 10 times WWE was tone deaf. Enough to show you Vince McMahon's mindset. And fun fact, the Brian Pillman interview and Stephanie McMahon comparing 9/11 to the steroid trial was not on the list either.
really
Yeah, still
interesting.
a pretty good list though.
So, just a little statistic before we get into the full review. Here is the actual time stamps of everything that happened. So, the total runtime of Raw, 2 hours, 59 minutes. Entrances, promos, and in-ring segments took up an hour and 4 minutes. Backstage interviews and segments took 12 minutes. Video recap was 16 minutes.
So that's more than half already.
Commercial breaks, 56 minutes. Actual wrestling, bell to bell, 30 minutes and 51
I
seconds.
can't believe that.
It's
That's
too,
not a lot of wrestling.
it's
That's
too
what
much
people
and
do.
too little.
That's terrible. Thank you,
Isn't
Cultaholic,
it
for those
sickening?
stats.
Isn't it sickening, KO?
It's terrible.
Isn't
It's
it? Isn't
Raw
it disgusting?
just sickening. Now, 30 minutes of wrestling is something I can understand on SmackDown when
Yes.
there's only, an hour and a half of actual TV time if you
Yeah.
take away commercials.
Right.
I didn't know there were 56 minutes of commercials, though.
Yeah. You really don't think about it when you're watching the full thing.
That's
You keep
crazy
going.
to me.
When you think about it, last week got more in-ring action than this week did.
Surprisingly, yeah.
It did. That was.
Wow.
If there's one thing better about last week's episode, is that there's more in-ring action.
There was, and that's good. Although, an hour of it was Baron Corbin, so
Yes.
how much better of it was it actually?
It's still in-ring action. That's what I count it by.
Well, we were supposed to start the show with in-ring action. It was a scheduled match, Ronda Rousey and Natalya taking on Tamina and Nia. But before the match could start, Natalya was making her way out. The Riot Squad came out and beat her up. Jax and Tamina were beating up Ronda. Heel heat. Right? Oh, God.
Heel heat once again.
Monday night.
What's Monday
heel
Night
heat.
Raw without heel heat?
Yeah. It's like Saturday morning heat, but now it's Monday.
Ugh.
Yeah, this was like one of the the few like that was the match I was looking forward to yesterday, and it was
Yeah, and then we had to.
It was good that it was rematch, but
Yeah, and then you had to wait 3 hours later for it.
Exactly. So here's my problem with Raw, and they've done it. They always do it, and I don't like it. It's the fact that they open up the show with one segment, and then they basically end the show with the same people and the same segment. Like, they do it all the time. Why, as a fan, if I didn't do a review show and didn't have to watch the full thing, why would I want to, if I have already seen the segment and they're like, just kidding, we're going to do it 3 hours later, like, okay, why as a fan would I want to wait for that? It's
3 hours later.
It's
like,
exactly.
wow.
Change it up a little bit. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Also, we didn't see IC Open Challenge. So that was cool.
right.
Brought it back for 1 week for Dolph Ziggler.
Yep, Dalton, the almighty Dolph. I mean,
It was a good match. Come on.
It was a good match, but why bring that back, the Open Challenge, just to give us another Dolph match?
Hey, at least Milwaukee got it.
That's true.
At least we got that.
the highlight of the show.
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Number one.
Although Elias singing was probably the highlight in my book.
It's one of the better parts, yes.
Yeah, so the Riot Squad eventually put Natalya through a table, probably setting up a Ruby versus Natalya tables match at TLC. Maybe not. Who knows? It was a pretty cool move, actually. Natty was up on the apron. Ruby super kicked her, and then Sarah and Liv double power bombed her into the table. It was a pretty good spot. I did like it. And then they went to commercial break, I guess. And this was all within the first 8 minutes of the show. In the back, we had Ronda helping Natalya walk through the back because she couldn't walk with a broken elbow. Ronda called for help, and she literally yelled for help, but then like two
The
guys
trainer
just
was right
there.
there.
Like, why are you yelling? They're right there.
I noticed that too. I'm like, what the hell?
Right?
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and they came to assist Natalya. So we'll get there. We'll get to what this leads to later, because there's another segment that goes into it. And speaking of this company just repeating things, we had an open forum with Banks and Bailey.
yeah. I was like, we just saw that last weekend.
Why did we need to do this again?
As soon as I saw Alexa Bliss out with the 2 chairs, I was like, no, please no. And then they're like, we're gonna try it again. I was like, and I'm switching to Monday Night Football.
For real?
Yeah.
This
I was like, come on.
because
this
it
is
worked
dumb.
so well last week. Oh my goodness. So Alexa Bliss came out and she said they wanted to do the forum again because it didn't work very well last week.
It didn't work this well this week either.
I will say it did better. I have a little hope coming out of this segment. We'll get to that. So Bailey and Sasha come out, and Bailey asked Bliss how long it was going to be before they get attacked again. Bliss said she had no idea that was going to happen last week, and she reprimanded Alicia, Mickey, and Dana because of that. So then, right back to the fan questions. A fan asked what they thought of the rumors that Bank was just using Bailey. They brushed it off and said that they'll be partners forever. Cool. The next fan asked...
They will.
Right? Subtlety at its finest. The next fan asked who their dream opponents would be, and they both answered Trish and Lita at WrestleMania at the same time. The next fan asked what their if they had a superpower, what would it be? Come on. Oh, I forgot about this one. And Bailey said she would make Bliss disappear.
Ooh.
I
Got
forgot-
me that
so
time.
I legitimately, I think I zoned out during this segment because I don't remember these questions.
Okay, at least that burn was a lot better than I'd send you back to hell.
Yeah, you're right. At least it's better, I guess. Okay, and then the next fan asked what changes they would bring to the women's division in 2019.
This was actually good.
This was the part that gave me hope. Bailey said that they want to be the first ever women's tag team champions, which got a modest pop. And then this brought out Fox James and Dana Brooke. I guess coming out to attack, but Banks and Bailey saw them coming, and then Bliss demanded them to stop. Said, "Hey, I reprimanded you guys last week. You're not doing this again. We're gonna make this an actual match, tag team match." She literally said it'll be Alicia and Mickey versus Bailey and Banks. And Dana, you can stay out here if you want, I guess. I don't really care what you do.
Totally just
funny.
trashed her.
So funny. Oh, so then we got a tag team match, which was a tag team match. Banks put Mickey in the backstabber, and then Bailey followed it with a Bailey to belly for a quick win under 5 minutes. Cool. Setting up the tag division. That's why I have hope for this
I
segment.
would like to point out that when we were in Milwaukee, they only let one fan answer
Yo.
the question. Those fans got multiple.
That's because they
questions.
came in they got attacked.
I would like to point out that I felt like I was close to getting my question answered. So,
Way up in the 36th row that we
yes,
were in.
sir, you all the way up there. Hey, how much longer do you think Mike McCarthy's gonna last as Packers head coach before he gets fired? And if so, who would you guys have to replace him?
That would have been amazing. Oh, yeah. So I guess, what do you guys think of this segment altogether, and what are you guys thinking about the tag division going forward?
I mean, I thought it was just junk as usual.
Yes.
Till they did mention the tag team titles and just that division, like hinting towards that maybe next year. That really got me excited because I'm like, yep. Now they got some more depth of that division, a division that I'm already like kind of invested in, just emotionally. I really like it. But
There's
like,
a lot of good tag teams.
There is.
Sasha and Bailey, I think they're very entertaining. They're both great wrestlers. You got the Iconics.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mandy and Sonya, which they might split up, but you could drag that out.
Right.
I think Nia and Tamina, as much as we hate them, they're heels, so they're kind of doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got to do, and it's being talked that it would be a 4-brand tag team belt where it would go to NXT and NXT UK
Really?
Along with Raw and SmackDown.
So it'd be a title defended on.
Yeah,
all four
so you could do
platforms.
a lot of interesting things. You bring in a new crowd to NXT. You could do Io Shirai and who's that? She was just fighting for the title. Kairi Sane. Like like that kind of tag team match with Banks and Bailey would be amazing. I think it's got a bright future.
Yeah, the Raw needs that. They
Exactly.
need something like that. They need some excitement. And just
Well, then
like,
it just give someone brought this up that the women in WWE, they normally do tag team matches anyway. So why not make them mean something with a tag belt?
Right.
I guess, yeah. But yeah, that was definitely the only good part. The rest was utter crap. Once again, second week in a row, same old stuff. Go Banks and Bailey.
New era,
Get 'em.
same old crap.
Yep.
Segment that was, at least I like that they pointed out, like, hey, are we gonna get jumped again?
Right.
But, yeah, that was what I was gonna bring up. That most of the women's tag or storylines are just throwing in tag teams, and I feel like if you have women's, I like that idea though of just all around. I think that would definitely have a lot better matches. But I feel like just every woman that's not in a feud right now for the title is just gonna get thrown as a tag team, which then I feel like everyone's just gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I could see that too. But then again, they kind of do anyway. Like, what has Ember Moon done since she came up?
Job to Tamina.
Exactly. Just sad.
She's done more than that. Come on.
Tamina looks like she doesn't want to be there.
Would
She
you
doesn't
want to
look
be in Raw either?
She just doesn't look interested.
She's not good.
It was
This
then
is
announced,
my eager face.
It was then announced that last night would be Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night, which is every night on Monday Night Raw in my book.
Apparently, yeah.
Then we had Rousey confronting Alexa Bliss backstage and said that the Riot Squad crossed the line by using a table ahead of TLC. How dare they? Bliss said that she sent them home and would address their actions next week. Why not? Whatever. Because I really want to tune into Monday Night Raw to
So
see what
bad,
Alexa has to say.
dude.
gotta wait for the writers to come up with
Oh, so bad.
Rousey said that she was gonna find Nia and Tamina somewhere and beat them up. Bliss offered to find her a new tag team partner, but Rousey said Bliss didn't have the conscience and she would find her own tag team partner. Which, literally, as they said that, I was like, okay, Ember Moon. Who else is
Who
there?
else is left?
There's no one else on the roster, unless they were gonna do a call-up, which we knew they weren't going to. Stupid. So yeah, we get the announced tag team match that was supposed to happen at the beginning of the show, gonna be in the main event.
It's actually a pretty good match though.
It was a decent match. Besides one spot that we'll talk about. A Corbin propaganda video aired next, which was actually really good. It literally looked like Corbin went into like Adobe Premiere and made a video of himself. It was really good. They cut backstage to Corbin, who was approached by Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, and they wanted a rematch with AOP. Corbin said, "You lost, so you're not really owed a rematch. However, I'll give Bobby his match with Drake Maverick because of what happened with the robe. I don't want to bring it up. And then
Drake Maverick peed on it. That's what happened.
if Bobby Roode could beat Drake Maverick tonight,
So weird. what is wrestling come to?
Vince wrote that. I just need to keep putting that in my head.
Vince
Vince
wrote
wrote
that.
Yeah, I bet he thought it was funny. So he's like,
Oh, he was probably dying of laughter backstage. If Roode could beat Drake Maverick, then they would get their title rematch. So then Corbin said there was no catch, but Gable and AOP were banned from ringside. Cool. And then I think it was right after this. It's not in these notes, but I think it was right after this that Heath Slater and Rhino walked in.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So they walked in. They're like, "Hey, what's up? What do you want?" And Corbin said, "I've been running the numbers." Which, why is he running the numbers during Raw? Whatever. And he said, "There's only room for one of you on the show, so one of you should just quit and save the other guy." And they were Heath Slater goes, "I got kids."
Yeah.
I love that he's still doing that.
And
And
it
then-
still got a chant too
I know!
that he's got kids.
It still got over. The crowd actually popped for it. And then Rhino said that he's worked for everything in his career, so he doesn't want to quit. And then he said, "All right, fine. You guys will have a match. Loser gets fired." At first, I was like, what in the world's going on? So we get that match eventually. But in the meantime, let's have a 3-on-1 handicap match.
Yeah, that was like,
I switched, so I had switched back and I had saw. I'm like, oh, we're still doing Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and AOP. That's a hard pass for me.
Lucha House Party versus Scott Dawson.
Also
this.
saw that too and was like, hard pass.
I carried 0.
Okay, so the big thing that we need to talk about here. When it was announced that it was a Lucha House Party match, or Lucha House Rules match, whatever it is, the commentators were like, "Oh, it's super fun. You know, it's the rules. They have to do it."
especially
Blah, blah, blah.
Renee.
Yeah, Renee and Michael were like, "This is so cool." And Corey Graves is saying this is unfair, which it is. Why do the baby faces have the advantage? Just remember that note. Just remember that when we go forward into the night.
It's
a lot
super
of
fun.
hypocrisy.
It's super fun. Yeah, it's super stupid.
Stupid.
Especially
Stupid.
when the handicap match at the AOP. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bobby Roode.
Grand Metalik won with a springboard senton. Yep. Corey, it literally says, Corey Graves yelled about how ridiculous this was throughout the match as Cole tried to justify it. Yep.
Okay, so if
Remember
that's
that.
okay, well if that's fair, then the AOP thing is fair too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's
get-
fair and what's not fair?
Exactly. We're going to get to that.
Come on, Vince. Makes
You
sense.
know WWE is struggling when the heels are having to, or like when the heels are making more sense than the faces.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Vince doesn't know how to create like faces anymore. It's sad, or
It's
superstars.
really sad. Next, we had the Drew Macker. I don't know why I can't say his name.
You still got the the Mac tire sign stuck in your head from
It was the
Monday.
best side I saw last week. Drew Mac. It was a Big Mac and a tire. McIntyre.
Wow.
Great. Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night. Cool. Yeah, so they kept plugging how it was going to be Corbin versus Strowman at TLC. If Strowman wins, he gets the Universal Championship match against Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. If Corbin wins, then he gets made permanent Raw GM. And they keep saying if Strowman forfeits the match, that counts as a Corbin win. So, cool. Corbin was in the ring and put over his own journey to the top, even though we had a video package of that earlier in the night, and this was a Drew McIntyre segment. The crowd booed and chanted, "You suck." He mentioned some bumps along the road, like dealing with the Shield, Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman, but things have been relatively pain-free lately, and he credited Drew McIntyre and played a very good video package of Drew McIntyre.
That was
And I was
really
watching
good.
that. I was watching that, and I was like, weird. No Dolph Ziggler in there. I bet that doesn't mean anything. kind of did, actually. I was surprised that they actually brought this up. McIntyre comes out. Corbin gave Drew McIntyre a gold medal of excellence because he said Kurt Angle doesn't count anymore. He's not a gold medalist, so we need one. You know,
I just rolled my eyes.
have to have a gold medalist on the team, even though for like what 12 years Kurt Angle wasn't. No. So yeah, he got a gold medal of excellence, and McIntyre stupidly was like, "Oh yeah, this is actually really cool. I actually really enjoy this." I'm like, no, stop. You're supposed to be a cool heel. He wanted to eradicate complacency in the locker room when he arrived a couple months ago. Guys were in the back playing video games and replying to fans on social media. Another example of WWE not knowing their surroundings, because if anyone watches Up, Up, Down, Down,
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre was on that on the channel this weekend playing
funny.
video games. Come on, WWE. Drew McIntyre wanted to reform Raw in his image. Well, not doing a very good job because it sucks. For those who... McIntyre said Finn Balor likes to think of himself as a voice of the people, but he is a boy in a man's world. Great line. As he spoke about what he would do to Balor at TLC, Dolph Ziggler interrupted. I'm really glad they brought this into continuity, because over the past couple weeks I thought they were just dropping it for no reason. So I'm really glad they... I think they did, because Vince was writing, and then they were like, crap, we actually have to acknowledge this. Dolph said, hey, I didn't see myself in that video. Like, I'm the one that brought you up to Raw. Like, you were always the brawn, I was the brain. Like, we had a good thing going. We were tag champs. I don't think he brought that up, but I was thinking that. We were tag champs. And then he said, my invitation must have got lost in the mail for your little celebration here. And McIntyre said, truth is, you were never invited. McIntyre said Ziggler didn't meet the height requirement. Stop with the short jokes. Oh! I didn't realize how much I actually hated this episode until I started reading through this. Wow. Yeah. Oh.
That was just hilarious with your little wrench. Just
I
slamming
thought Big Cass leaving would be the end of those jokes. McIntyre said Ziggler was never the brains. McIntyre said he was the brains and the brawn and the whole damn package. I thought he was going to do the whole damn show thing. And Ziggler's only role was to get him into a prominent position. Then he added, for the first time in 10 years, you actually succeeded in your life.
That was good.
Great line. Fantastic line. McIntyre sarcastically thanked him and told him to leave. And he said the only reason Ziggler was relevant for the first time in 10 years was because of him. And then Ziggler attacked him and gave him a zigzag. He was about to leave, but Corbin said, no, let's fight. Let's do this match. So we actually got a decent match between Ziggler and McIntyre. Which, don't know how I feel about the payoff match being on Raw, but I don't mind it. I think there's bigger things for McIntyre, so getting this out of the way, I think, is a good thing. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, really good match. McIntyre worked most of it. At one point, he was dominating so much that he got on the mic and he said, you know what? I'm taking it easy on you, but I shouldn't be taking it easy on you, so I'm going to pretend you're someone I don't like Finn Balor. And then he just rams him into the ring post and the barricade and the ring post and the barricade like 5 times. It was awesome. But then eventually, Finn Balor actually comes out, distracts McIntyre. Ziggler kind of gets the upper hand. Balor eventually hits a running dropkick into the barricade on McIntyre while the referee's distracted. And then Ziggler, I believe, let me see here. McIntyre just barely beat the 10 count after that. That's right. But then as soon as he got in the ring, Ziggler hit him with a super kick for the win. McIntyre lost. Cole said he thought that it was McIntyre's first pinfall or submission since returning to the WWE. Technically, yes. Also, technically, no. If you count NXT, it's not his first pinfall. He lost the NXT title clean. But
I think he meant main roster.
Right. I think if you say since being brought up to the main roster, then yes, it's true because he has not gotten pinned or submitted since then. So yeah, Now, a lot of people, I want your guys' opinion on this. A lot of people don't like that was his first loss. What is your guys' thoughts?
I mean, I didn't see that coming. I really
No,
didn't
yeah,
think
me
he was
either.
gonna
I didn't
lose
either,
at
yeah.
all. I mean, I guess they're really confident in just his stock in the company and just like his, I don't know, presence as a heel. So, but I thought it really like built, like it's gonna build really good into this Baylor match upcoming at TLC. Just
I
because,
completely
like,
agree.
yeah, I mean, McIntyre and all those guys, they're playing dirty. Why can't Baylor play dirty and kind of, cheat and get, help?
I thought Balor looked really good on this show.
Yeah, he did.
And we'll get to it. I, again, had a little problem with it, but he looked pretty good. Finally, a babyface looked good.
I like this whole angle a lot. Like you said, Balor's he looked much better this show. He actually looked like a winnable face, if you will, like a guy who actually has a chance, because that's just not the way it's been going for him these last few months. Yeah, I was a little surprised by the loss too, but I think it's a good loss because this is only going to elevate Drew McIntyre more.
Right.
Dolph Ziggler's not going to go anywhere. We all know that.
Agree.
Yeah, this gets McIntyre's loss out of the way, so you don't have to wait for it forever. So that'll get like more feelings behind him, if you will.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Even though he's a heel.
Even though he's one of their top dogs right now, getting that first loss out of the way so that fans truly don't know what to expect makes it better.
Cal.
I think this is fine with him taking a pinfall on Raw. I mean, you could tell they still thought of really highly. And I just looked, and Monday Night Raw had its worst viewership of all time since records began. That just came out.
Are you serious?
No way.
Yep. Averaged 2.285, down from 2.396 last week.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was
Wow.
down 3% from last week.
That really has to be a wake-up call.
Wow. Post-record. Yeah, I'm looking at wrestle. Okay, we'll get back to that if we have time at the end. Backstage, Caruso asked McIntyre if it was smart to ditch his friend Ziggler when other superstars are after him. Ziggler was ticked off and said Ziggler was never his friend. He was a means to an end. McIntyre called the win tainted, and Ziggler has been living off potential for 10 years. Great line. Ziggler's been trying to reach the top of the mountain, but McIntyre is the mountain. Come on. And then and he would be crashing down on Ziggler. He also said Balor was a marked man. Elias was in the ring and cut his usual promo. Had a great line. He turned the local sports team reference into an actual face line. And he said Bobby Lashley was harder to find in this arena than Carmelo Anthony. That was amazing. They were in Houston,
That's why
obviously.
I love Elias, honestly.
I loved
he's
it.
So he's underrated in a way.
Yes.
on the show.
He's so good. He's such a good face promo. He's transitioned really well. He needs to transition in the ring as a face
Yeah,
a
he
little more.
does.
That'll
but
come with time.
I think, we've been saying that.
He's
I
such
think
a great promo. I love his gimmick too, the guitar and everything.
So good. It's got rock vibes to it.
It does.
It really has
Yeah.
rock vibes to it. He said he was looking for Lashley. He was about to play a song, but it was interrupted by my man, Leo Rush.
Interrupted by my man, the big man, Bobby Lashley.
Oh, God, I love him.
Take
Leo
a
Rush
good
is-
hard look at the big man, the almighty. Strike him with your favorite pose.
And so he did.
I laughed at that.
It gets me every time. He just bends down and points at his quads, but it looks like he's pointing
Show
at his
him the
quads.
bicep pose.
I thought he was pointing at his
I
butt
know.
for a second.
It's
really?
supposed to be his quads, but of course, it's Vince McMahon laughing in the back because he's pointing at his ass. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Pointing and spanking it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh
he was,
my
like,
god.
patting
Spanked his butt too.
Oh man. Elias saw enough, so he went after Lashley. Elias drove Lashley into the video board, and then chased Leo Rush away. And he chased Lashley out of the way, who crawled to the back way too slow because Elias caught up, and then it looked weird. He had to pretend not to catch him. Elias came back and found Leo Rush just kind of on the stage. It was like, oh, I was literally like, why is Leo Rush back on the stage?
Yeah.
I thought he ran away. Elias smashed the guitar onto Leo Rush's back, and then the camera panned over, and Finn Balor was there again, and he's the one that threw Leo Rush back up there. Great stuff.
The resurgence of the faces on Raw.
Right?
Is led by Balor himself.
Finn Balor, apart
Club.
from one segment that we're going to get to, Finn Balor looked like a competent babyface here, and that does not happen nowadays in WWE. That gives me a lot of hope with Finn Balor, but they're just going to crush my dreams. We know that. Yeah, Cal, what did you think of this segment?
I really liked it. Watching Elias. Leo Rush sold that so good, too, where his sunglasses went flying off.
I know.
And it's also good, like, I kind of like it when managers, like, once in a while take a bruise. And Elias, I also like how Elias, instead of just was like, you want to what? No, I'm going to go attack you, Bobby Lashley, instead of having him come down and talk to him. He's like, all right, yep, I can't take this anymore. And I loved every bit about that. And I especially love Finn Balor looking smart, too, and, like, throwing Leo. He looked like a smart baby face.
I think they realized that they need to build a couple more baby faces, so I liked it. And we had backstage segment. Jinder Mahal told Corbin that he would take out Finn Balor for him tonight. Shanti. Corbin liked the idea, and Mahal left. This was actually where Slater and Rhino came in, so I got that wrong. But like I said, it made the match between Rhino and Slater. For them, loser has to get fired. Next, we had Drake Maverick versus Bobby Roode. The match barely got underway when a video came up on the Titantron of AOP beating up Chad Gable in the back. After they had beaten him up, Corbin came in and said, "Just kidding, I forgot to tell you guys, it's a 3-on-2 handicap match. Get out there." So AOP left. Chad Gable was on the floor. He was like, "Come on, Chad, you're going to miss your match. You better get up." So, Rude gave Maverick the glorious DDT to try to win before AOP came out, but AOP came in and broke up the pin. So then they worked him over for a little bit. And this is where we need to bring this up again, because Michael Cole and Renee Young were sitting there talking about how this is completely unfair. It's a handicap match. It's literally better odds than the Revival had earlier.
Yeah.
They had 3-on-1. This was 3-on-2. Because Chad Gable eventually came back and tried to help.
When you think about it, it's like 2.5 on 2. Because Drake Maverick technically isn't a wrestler.
Fair enough. It's just ridiculous. Why? What? You can't have this on the same show. You can't have this in the same company, but let alone within the same hour of each other. You can't have baby faces with an advantage and you saying how it's okay because it's the rules, and then you go and have heels with a handicap advantage and say how dastardly it is and they're heels for it.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, fans are smart, they're not stupid, and they're trying to like get away with that, and it's just so cringy about Raw.
It's just ridiculous. Continuity just goes out the window.
What happened to this show?
It was so.
It was literally good a month ago.
Yeah.
It was good a month ago,
Yes.
and then
Survivor Series, man, I'm telling you, Survivor Series is something different. It sparks everything in WWE. So Gable comes back out, but AOP came in, hit him with the Super Collider, and then Maverick tagged himself in so he could pin Rude. Drake Maverick is now undefeated in WWE. He tweeted that out. That was really funny. I like that.
congrats, man.
This was stupid. Obviously, this is still building to another title match. They wouldn't continue the feud if they didn't plan on doing another match. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets announced for TLC. Maybe they're saving it because there's already a lot of matches for TLC. McIntyre and Balor got announced. Elias and Bobby Lashley got announced. They're doing the IC match with Dean and Seth. They're doing the TLC match with Corbin and Strowman. Ronda and Nia. And apparently maybe Ruby and Natalya. A lot of matches coming out of Raw.
Yeah, it's a stack card for them, honestly.
Because then you still have AJ and Bryan. You have the triple threat for the women's title.
Tag titles.
Tag titles,
right?
probably Usos
be
in the
on.
bar. They set that up last week. We'll see
Uh-huh.
tonight. I don't know. It's going to be a long pay-per-view. That's all I have to say. So then we had some sirens going off. Red and blue lights were flashing. 6 guys wearing tactical vests and gas masks walked out. And then Ambrose's music hit while the sirens were still playing. And I was like, okay, maybe this is just a cool thing. Nope, at the end of the segment, his music came back on and there's still sirens in there.
I hope it doesn't stay.
I hope that doesn't stick.
It's got
it
such a
sounds
great theme
stupid.
song.
Sounds so stupid. It works for heel and face. I thought it was fine. But I have to freaking add a siren to it. It's stupid. So Ambrose came in looking like Bane, and he kept the gas mask on, and he tried to cut a promo through it. Brown leather jacket. Literally not unlike the jacket Bane wore in The Dark Knight Rises. Look at that. Ambrose made a crack about Houston, saying how he needed the mask so that he wouldn't get sick, but then immediately took the mask off. Cool. And then he dropped dead. No. Ambrose said it was easy to get Seth Rollins riled up. He called Rollins needy and emotional, just like the fans. Quit cutting you people promos. This is stupid. Ambrose said he used to be proud of the Shield, but after a while, all Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns cared about was being a role model for the fans. The crowd chanted for Rollins, and Ambrose said he's the only one who hasn't changed. He has remained constant. He said he's the moral compass of WWE. The fans didn't know what that meant because the schools in Houston aren't too good. Come on. This is supposed to be a feud between Ambrose and Rollins. And he's attacking the fans like a generic heel. I know I say this every week, but it's stupid. Eventually Rollins comes out. He beats up all the security guards. He gets his hands on Ambrose, but then Ambrose hits him with the gas mask, hammers away on him, hits the dirty deeds. Yeah, and then Renee said, "We've seen Dean Ambrose come unhinged before, but what we're getting from him now is next level." And then another dirty deeds, blah, blah, blah. So then, before I ask you guys on this segment, again, we had Corey Graves asking Renee Young about Ambrose. He said, stop short of the talent. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. He said, do your job. It ended with Renee telling him, listen, no one is entitled to know what goes on behind closed doors between husband and wife. How dare you? Even though they're on a show called Total Divas where you get to see behind closed doors. Anyway.
Makes sense.
What did you guys think of this promo?
I didn't really care for it. I mean, really kind of like trying to direct heat or, call out the audience and the fans. It doesn't even mean anything. It's really pointless in a kind of a personal feud right now between like two former best friends in the storyline. And I didn't really like it, but I liked when Seth Rollins came out, even though he, really got his butt handed to him, it was fun to just see that action. And Corey Graves, I was like, wow, for the 20th straight week, we just heard him say that. Like really, and Renee Young got mad at him, like the whole old ordeal goes, and it was just, I didn't really like it, didn't care for it.
They're trying to do too much with Ambrose at one time.
It should be a simple, methodical character.
Like focus on one thing for one storyline and focus on another thing for the next one. Instead, they're blending it in against arguably his top rival of his career, Seth Rollins. Instead, they're blending two into one. Like, I mean, it was all right. I mean, actually, I kind of thought the gas mask part was a little creative.
The look was cool.
I kind of liked the look because it looked like they were being quarantined.
Yeah, exactly.
Which made sense.
I didn't mind it.
Because, yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. I thought the segment was all right in general.
Cal?
I thought it was okay. Could have been a lot better. But what they're doing with this feud could be so much better. But they're making Ambrose a generic heel, and it's frustrating.
They're making him dynamic and generic at the same time.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Super frustrating. All right, we're a little crunched for time, so speed round real quick. Nia Jax had a backstage promo. It was crap. Heath Slater versus Rhino.
she like they literally made like all of a sudden like these past couple weeks she's turning into this crazy person.
Yeah.
When she was never that way before.
It's terrible.
She's like, I'm gonna get the Raw Women's Championship. Me!
Yeah. Like, stop.
She was like anti-bullying and everything.
Yeah. And now she's a...
now she's a bully all of a sudden.
Alexa Bliss was right all along.
Yes. This is your moment of bliss.
Heath Slater beat Rhino with a quick neck breaker after 60 seconds. Rhino was stunned. Slater looked concerned for his friend. Now, do you guys know the story behind this?
Rhino is actually retired.
During the commercial break, Rhino told the live audience that he is retiring from pro wrestling.
Really?
That's why they wrote him off the TV. So, good for him, I guess. He can go do his politics, and he can. I think he's got like some. He's got some other thing that he's wrapped up in. So good for him. If he can't do it anymore, he doesn't want to do it anymore. Good for him.
He had a great, 2-decade career.
And we actually get a slight storyline for Heath Slater. I'm really excited about this, actually. So backstage, Corbin congratulated Slater, and he said, "Now you get to put your uniform on." And Slater was like, "What?" Throws him a ref shirt. He said, "You didn't think I was keeping you as a wrestler, did you?" I'm really excited for this. This could be really entertaining. Yeah. Slater is really good in these comedy roles, so I'm very excited for this. Then we got Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal. 7-minute match. The Singh brothers tried to interfere. Apollo Crews comes out for the save. Remember when he was getting pushed? Like, what? This was so random. Eventually, Mahal kicked Crews to save his friends, but then Balor wiped him out, hit the coup de grace for the win. Cool. Backstage interview with Finn Balor. Feel free to jump in. We got like 3 minutes, so
that's fine. Feel
free to jump in if you guys want to. Caruso was interviewing Balor backstage, but then McIntyre attacked him from behind. This is what I mean. You had Balor do all these cool things throughout the show, and like he looked smart and he looked good with actual babyface like reaction. Why did you have to do this beatdown angle?
They kind of could have saved it for next week.
They could have. Just let him stand tall.
For one.
Because this basically negated everything that he did.
For one night, just let him stand tall.
Stupid.
Because that would make people watch next week to see, okay, what more would he do?
Exactly. Lars Sullivan promo? Not the same promo anymore. Lars Sullivan actually cut a promo in the video where he was like, "It doesn't matter where I go, I'm going to dominate." Cool. Can't wait until Royal Rumble when he finally debuts. And then we finally got the match that was supposed to open up the show. Ronda and Ember Moon versus Tamina and Nia. Yeah, so Tamina took most of this. There was one spot, and we don't have too much time to talk about it. Tamina went for a headbutt, and she jumped up for it, but when she jumped, Ember sold it because Ember thought it was just going to be a straight headbutt, so, like, it looked terrible. Unfortunately, that's more on Ember. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Anyway, late in the match, Tamina was getting beaten up. She had finally tagged in, Nia. She tagged in Nia. Nia didn't want to come in because Ronda was in the ring. She went in. She kind of was, looking to grapple, but then she immediately tagged in Tamina. Ronda threw Nia back in the ring, and then Tamina, I think, hit her with a super kick, but then they got the faces got the upper hand again. Eclipse from Ember Moon, and then Tamina tapped out to the armbar. Decent match, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't like watching Tamina wrestle.
No, she's bad.
Flat boring.
She's boring.
No
she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't think she cares.
Rousey and Moon look good though.
They look really good.
I think they look really good as a team.
Ember Moon is really good.
I love Ember Moon just for her wrestling ability.
Exactly.
She can wrestle and put on.
Ronda Rousey saved this match though.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
goodness, did she save this match?
Which was surprising. Usually her TV matches aren't as good as her pay-per-view matches, but she looked really good here, I thought.
I think that's just because like they're starting to get really behind her in this Jax feud because we are really getting sick of Nia Jax.
She needs to clean up that rolling clothesline that she does. Because she kind of hits it and then rolls. It looks a little weird. It looks like Undertaker towards the end of his career when he tried doing it. So, I don't know if she can
it's her
that.
style, too, so she can do what she wants.
But anyway, real quick, because technically we're out of time, but we'll see when they actually decide to come in. Thoughts on the overall show?
Better than last weekend, for sure.
Apparently not. Apparently not at all, actually.
Just by a little bit. I wasn't too impressed. I mean, I didn't really see a big growth, but what we saw of Finn Balor, that was exciting. And, we'll see next week.
Yeah, I gave last week a 2. I'm just going to give this one a 2.5 and leave it at that at best.
Cal?
Not great, but compared to what it was last week, improvement.
Just remember, be glad we were there live last week.
Yes, it made it so much better.
It was so much better watching it live.
Show to you guys.
It was great to watch. It was super fun. Yeah. But then I got home and I started thinking, I was like, man, that was really fun. Sang with Elias.
Seth Rollins had a good match.
Seth Rollins fought Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. It was just super disappointing. But anyway, I also thought it was a good show. I give it a low 3 out of 5. I'd give it a low 3 out of 5.
Fair enough.
That's being generous because I liked it when I was watching it, but at the same time, I do remember myself after 2 hours literally being like, I want to turn this off. It was the last hour of the show.
I started playing Fortnite 2 hours through. So.
I was playing video games during it. I was watching it on my phone. Oh. But anyway, thank you all for watching or listening, watching on YouTube, whatever. Same time tomorrow on 91.7 The Edge, 4 o'clock for the SmackDown review, but also on YouTube. I post it pretty quickly again. But we are on every week, Tuesday and Wednesday, reviewing Raw and SmackDown at 4 p.m. So thank you all for listening, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Give us a follow on Twitter. Links in the description down below. And make sure you listen to our podcast, First Round KO, on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher.
Until next time, peace.